In this video, I'll be going over some of the questions that most resemble what you're going to see on your test. Make sure you have your review with you or a scratch sheet of paper so you can follow along. On question 1, the first thing we want to start off by doing is drawing a line through the equal sign. And then we're solving for the x. Our first step is going to be to distribute. That means if we have parentheses, what's outside will be multiplied to everything inside. Here you'll multiply the numbers -4 and -3, which makes it a +12, and we're still multiplying by the x. The -4 will also be multiplied to the 7, making it a -28. The right side will remain the same. After this, our next step in getting this x isolated is going to be to add the 28 to both sides, which means our 12x will stay. The 28s are opposite, so they cancel out to a 0. And on the right side, -64 and +28 is a -36. Our last step is going to be to divide everything by 12 so that x is now isolated, and we get x equals -3. If you were to go back and check your work, you're going to take the original equation, but instead of the x, you're going to input your x value. So in my calculator, I would have -4, open parenthesis, -3, another open parenthesis for my x, which I'm going to replace with a -3, +7, close, equals -64. And when you type that into your calculator, you should see the word true, meaning you have solved correctly. We're going to distribute as our first step. Here you will have the ability to use the calculator. This 2 is not going to be distributed. That's going to come straight down. The +0.5 is going to be multiplied to the x as well as to the -2. Once again, you can use your calculator. From there, combine your like terms. So 2 and -1, they are on the same side, so use the same operation. Everything else is going to remain the same for this step. Now, since we have variables on both sides, we want to go ahead and use inverse operations to get them together on the same side. This is going to leave us with 0.25x plus 15 over on the left. On the right is 1 because these cancel each other out. We almost have our x by itself. We need to subtract the 15 from both sides. This leaves us with 0.25x is equal to -14. Last step is going to be to divide everything by the 0.25. And we get our final answer of x equals -56. Once again, you want to double check in the calculator when you're working on your test. This next problem here, number 7, also has distributing. Take note, only the -5 is what's in front of the parenthesis. So the -5 will go to the x as well as to the 1. The 4 out front is going to stay. Everything on the right side of the equal sign will also stay. From here, our like terms on the left, we have a 4 minus 5. Same side, same sign. So that's going to be a -1. My -5x is also on the left. My right side's going to stay the same as well. We have variables on both sides. It doesn't matter which one you move. I'll go ahead and move my 3x by using the inverse operation. This will leave me with a -1 minus 2x equals 2. My 3x's are inverses. They cancel each other out. Next, Still getting my 2x by itself. I'm going to add 1 to both sides because it's the inverse operation. That leaves me with negative 2x equals 3. And then divide everything by negative 2 so the x is isolated. And we get our solution is x equals 3 over negative 2. Number 10, we have the length of a rectangle is x plus 5. So you have a choice. You can use the picture and label all 4 sides, or if you wish not to use the picture, you have the formula. Okay? If you use the formula, my perimeter is 40, so I have 40 is going to be equal to twice times the length, which we're told is x plus 5, plus twice times the width, which is x minus 3. Or, if you opt to use the picture, you go around and combine all your x's together, which makes it 4x. Combine all your constants together, which makes it a positive 4. And it's the perimeter, which means altogether it's going to have the value of 40. If you went and distributed, you're going to get the same answer. So here I went ahead and I distributed the 2 to both sets of parentheses, combined like terms, and you see we're left with 40 equals the 4x plus 2. So it doesn't matter if you go with the formula or the picture and add up all your sides. In the end, you're going to get the same answer or the same expression. From there, you need to solve. So whichever method, the same step's going to be the same. You're going to subtract the 4 from both sides. That's going to leave you with 36 equals 4x. And then divide by 4, and you're going to get that x value of 9. Now be careful, because on your test, it may ask you just to find the x value, or it may ask to find the dimensions. If it's asking for dimensions, it means what is the actual length. So we have x equals 9. We got to put that 9 in place of x, which means we have really 9 plus 5, which makes the length 14. And we also have 9 minus 3, which makes the width 6. So on this problem, we see that Robert has paid $200 as a registration fee. This is a one-time fee that he's going to have to pay. But it also says he has a monthly charge of $39. So this means every month he's going to have to pay an additional $39. It doesn't say how many months, so that's my variable. And then it tells us so far he has spent $629. This is equal to $629. And we want to see how many months Robert has been to the gym. So from here we have our equation. We're going to solve using the inverse operations. So we subtract the 200 from both sides. And then our next step is going to be to divide everything by that 39, which gives us m equals 11. He's been in the gym for 11 months.